Well, good morning, everyone. This is a pre-recorded session for those of you who are watching later. My name is Marianne Hutchings, and we will be hosting sessions talking about multipotentiality, as well as having some special guest hosts who, excuse me, are going to be talking about their experiences as multipotentialites or Renaissance people, or also known as scanners and polymaths. Today I was meant to have our host from India co-hosting, Onkarjot Singh. It looks like we may have gotten our time zones crossed, and we'll definitely schedule him again for another day. So this concept is not new. It has been around for quite some time. And in fact, in the Renaissance era, that was probably the most prominent time where there were people who were skilled and very proficient in multiple areas where they had developed a level of mastery. And that was generally the most accepted way of being, as opposed to specializing in one area and not having anything outside of that primary interest that you were learning or that you could offer in trade or as a business. So there is a pivotal TED Talk that has really helped a lot of people identify with this concept, and it was Emily Wapnick. She also has her own website called Putty Lake and has a community of people who are either looking to dive into multipotentiality, and of course, our co-host, who wasn't able to join me today, Onkarjot Singh, has the multipotentialites.com website, where he has featured stories of people who've written in, like myself, to share what being a multipotentialite means to them, or how it is that they're going through life. So in the conversations that I've had with people who are diversely talented and that let's say have multiple interests and multiple businesses, the common theme is that a lot of people seem to view this way of living as something that's very foreign and even wrong in some cases. I think in those kinds of conversations, a lot of the time there's this sentiment of, why is it that you can't just pick one thing and do that? So I know that I have tried, as also many others have tried, to specialize and just do that one thing. I'll speak of my own experience, and personally I found that that was very limiting because it didn't allow me to grow and to move through different interests and add them to my collective knowledge base as they came up. So with people who are multipotentialites, you're never starting from scratch. You're never starting from zero, because you end up having this whole base that you have built up to that point, and then you're adding a skill on top of that, and you're complementing the rest of your skill set. So I know that one of the things I would like to do is have people talk about what it means to them and whether they're still struggling to embrace their multipotentiality, or if they are fully living with the possibility of having multiple talents, creating their livelihood, and that they're sharing that with their friends and family as this is normal for me. One of the things that has really struck a chord with me and that I've written about is how my normal is very different than, let's say, your normal or anyone else's normal. And I think that that should really be the basis for your experience if you're looking to be a multipotentialite full-time and taking all of the knowledge that you have and creating your life out of that. Now, that's not to say that we don't need our specialists. We most definitely do. And even in entrepreneurship, you have people that require a lot of structure and that they really enjoy having a set of tasks that are defined and that they just know exactly what it is that they have to do on a day-to-day basis. So I was speaking with a friend of mine who's doing her PhD currently, and I said, you know, the ones who are innovators or who have more free-form thinking, those are the people that are really great for charging ahead and forging new connections and creating new paths, where the people who really enjoy the structure and who like to have a plan, that's where we get long-term results. That's where we get our studies, where we have the statistics that will back up what the innovator first put forward as a hypothesis or proposed. This might be a great approach to either counseling or therapy or even a new way of designing something. And then once the people who adopt that and put that into practice, and over time you can see how successful or where the shortcomings have been to that approach, you know, we need both kinds of people, definitely. And of course, there's always the ones who will fall somewhat in between, the ones that specialize and that they prefer to just have a couple of hobbies, versus also the people who know everything it is that I do, I'm very passionate about, and that I just want to share that with the world. So what I think we might do for today, it's only our first BLAB. We're planning a series of these where we can bring in other guest speakers, people who are working as realtors and other people who are working in creative fields, as well as people who are in some scientific fields that have multiple interests. If you're interested in becoming one of our guest speakers, feel free to just drop me a line. You can also find me on Twitter at Luscious Tech, and I also have a paper that is published daily at luscioustech.com. And Onkar, you can write to him at multipotentialites.com. Tell him your story. Tell him you're interested in joining us as one of our co-hosts on the BLAB, and we would welcome you and want to know everything about your experience in life and how it is that you have found your way to multipotentiality. So I'm Marianne Hutchings, and I look forward to seeing you again. We will reschedule another BLAB where we will have a co-host and share it with all of your friends. Oh, hello, Johnny. I was actually just about to wrap up our first one, but if you have any questions, my co-host unfortunately wasn't able to join me today. Thank you. Oh, you know what? You get some mad props too. But if you have any questions at all about multipotentiality and what it's like to forge your way into the world, yeah, of course you can. Please do. Yeah, are you able to see the call in? Okay, go ahead, and then I'll just accept their request. Here, let's see here. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so it looks like for those of you who are tuning in to the recorded session, the great thing about BLAB is that it is evergreen, so you will continue to see the previous BLABs that we have on multipotentiality. And again, this is kind of our inaugural session with my co-host being in India. I think we may have gotten our time zones a little bit crossed. We usually talk at least once a week around this time of day, but perhaps something came up at the last minute and he was unable to join us. So, but we are going to be talking to various multipotentialites, people who are working in perhaps a specialized field, and who are looking to branch out, or that have found the happy medium, the way to make their multipotentiality work for them. As Renaissance people, taking either technological or artistic ambitions and blending those, or if you're a creative writer, or perhaps you're an engineer and you've decided to take your engineering to a different level. Years ago, I actually had an experience where I met a cake maker. They had a specialty bakery. They made beautiful birthday and wedding cakes. And when I was speaking with Jana at that time, I asked her what her background was, and she says, "Oh, I'm an engineer." So when it came time to help my husband in the bakery and we started making wedding cakes, I started applying my engineering to baking, to making sure that there was enough structural integrity to these very complex structures and cakes so that they wouldn't fall over. And I know that Cakes by Jana in Edmonton, that they ran a very successful business where they were shipping cakes globally for weddings and special occasions, and truly, truly amazing works of art. But she started as an engineer, so you never know where that opening is going to come and present itself so that you can branch out into something new. My personal story, if we're going to keep going, is that I have a background in information technology, but I've also been involved in sports as a coach and as an instructor, and have traveled quite a bit. I've lived in Australia and Greece, and I have found that being a multipotentialite, before I even identified with that concept, was something that served me very well, because I was able to cook, I was able to manage, I was able to be a server, I could do sales, I could do all kinds of things, whatever it was that I needed to do. I just rolled that into the current role that I had. I've never really viewed the world as choosing a specific industry, because I've worked across many industries, and I've taken all of the things that I've learned and applied it to the particular industry that I was working with. So having a technical writing and some creative writing background and applying that to a scientific field, which I did for a number of years, was something that was a little outside the box when I was doing my program in IT. I definitely didn't think that I was going to be applying it in that way. So yeah, please go ahead and call in. There we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, thank you. So where are you calling in from today?
I'm calling from Pakistan.
Oh, wonderful. Well, welcome. I am here in beautiful, sunny Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Nice. That's nice.
Oh, now, do you have your camera disabled? Because I can't see an image or anything.
Actually, I am on my phone, so there is a problem in the camera, so that's why it's not working.
Okay, that's totally fine. So welcome. Now tell me a little bit about yourself. What is it about this particular BLAB that brought you to us today?
Oh, well, being a mathematics teacher, I have seen the topic living in multipotentially with Onkarjot Singh. Very nice wording. So it's really difficult sometimes. You find people who have multi-potential tasks. So being a math teacher, what my second potential is that I am totally involved in social activities with my colleagues, and I am running an NGO. And whenever I have some free time, I go with my friends to help people who are suffering from other problems and trying to solve their problems.
That is wonderful. Oh, you know, that's something that speaks to me definitely. I know that I like to do a lot of volunteer activities and, you know, contribute to my community, and not just my community locally, but also globally. I really find that it's I don't know, that's something that has always touched my heart. And I'm really happy to hear that you're kind of branching out and that you're involved in many things. So do you
Yeah.
find that you have a lot of people in your midst who kind of understand or are just very accepting of how you can gravitate towards so many different things?
Yeah, we have a group, and when we are having some task or we are going somewhere, what we do, we decide a plan and go to the area and find the people, what they need help, and we make a plan and try to solve their problems.
Mm-hmm.
It needs some time, and it also needs some money, so we arrange by ourselves and try to solve their problems. After solving their problems, their education problem, there's any other water problem, food problem, after solving, what happiness comes on their face, that satisfies us. After solving their problems, their face, their smile, that make us satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that I don't think there's anything better when you've been able to touch somebody's life or touch their heart and see what a difference that it's made. It's its own reward, really.
So you said about yourself that you have done something in information technology, and by that time you were busy in sports activities as well. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm. Well, the sports kind of came first. I was involved in the ski industry here as a downhill ski instructor for many, many years, and I traveled with that. I lived in different places in my own country, and after realizing that it was time to move on to a different career, I started traveling, and I worked for a British holiday company in the Greek Isles. And after that, I also went to Australia and lived in Australia for a year and traveled around while I was there. So, and I worked the whole time when I was traveling. I had very short periods of time where I wasn't working, and it was just pure travel. But I found that interacting with different people and getting to meet new people every day through the workplace and getting to know the locals, because you become a part of the community when you're actually working. You find out how people live and what they do. So it's given me a really neat perspective that I find, some people, they find that it's interesting that I've done so many things. And I know there are those who just kind of say, well, you haven't picked that one thing. But the whole premise behind that, and you get some mad props too for that. But it's really interesting that for me, I struggled for a long time to just accept that I had a lot of talents and a lot of skills and many things to offer, but that I was holding myself back. I was holding myself small in the world by thinking, well, how can I possibly be embracing all of these things, when in actual fact, every time I started denying one of those creative pursuits, I was also denying a deeper level of knowledge of myself and the things that I really, really enjoy doing in life.
Great, that's great. So whenever you are struggling, any idea comes in your mind that you have to go back. Is this thing happen in your life?
I find that when I'm really challenged with something, as long as I am able to take a moment, just a moment sometimes, take a breath and go, where am I going? Where am I going? What kind of life do I want to create? And that's usually when the answer comes to me. I really do a lot of soul searching when I'm trying to make a big decision. Recently, I had my jumping off point. There's a colleague of mine who, the way she refers to it, is letting go of the ledge. And I finally let go of the ledge. I decided that instead of finding long-term contracts where I was really investing myself personally in someone else's company and viewing that as, okay, this is going to be my pursuit from now on, I've done that for many, many years as a consultant, and I've learned so much, and I'm grateful for every one of those experiences. But I started to see a very different picture, one that allowed me to be creative, to be connected in my community, so that I could have the time to spend with my daughter. I have a beautiful 7-year-old girl, and she is my everything. And I also encourage her on a daily basis to go out and just be who she is.
Okay, great. So what was your exciting time when you were most excited and you feel happy in your life, or by helping others or doing these multi-potential tasks?
I think that my happiest was probably when I decided to let go of the ledge, when I realized that I was going to be able to pursue all of those things that I'm passionate about, whether it's, I still love technology. No matter how I run from technology, it chases me down and it follows me and it insinuates itself into every part of my life. So when I decided that it was time for me to go full-time into web design and graphic design, and also working with people on social media and marketing strategy and communications, those are things that can be very, very diverse, but those are the experiences that have been the richest for me when I've been able to connect with business owners and make a difference in their business. So that, I think that probably was the most exciting thing as a multi-potentialite, was to have the courage and just let go.
Great, that's great.
Yeah, and
Tell about
what about you?
please.
I want to hear about your experience.
Oh well, actually, whenever we have some plan, we go make a plan and we go together. One day, the thing happened that we were in a school that was some outside of the country, and we went there, and students were sitting outside of the school because the area which was in the school that was not clean, and no teacher was there because no one was there to, you can say that no check and balance was there. So students were sitting outside waiting for the teacher, and the teacher was not in the school nor at home. He went somewhere else. So what we have done on that particular day, we make the students together to make a class, and the whole day we teach the students and they enjoyed a lot. That was really very exciting day for us. And the next day we went from there and informed those who were there that what is going on here, you have to take care of it. This is not the good thing because students are waiting for the teacher and teacher is not coming in the school. So that was one of the moment of my life that I will never forget.
That is amazing. Well, and I think that I think it takes a very special person to be able to reach within themselves and get to that place where they just see a situation and they're able to adapt to it almost immediately. So, and what a way to change a person's life.
Being a personal, if I talk myself, I am very exciting about helping others. Whenever I go to my work, if I see on my way someone needs help or in a trouble, I try my best to help him and make him out from that trouble. And if let's suppose if I am unable to help him, then when I am going to sleep on my bed, I am feeling very astonished that what I have done today, I have not helped one person. Why? I'm asking myself again and again that I have done something bad today. What was that I have not helped a person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's an important way of checking in with yourself to see what it is that you've accomplished on the day. And also, something that's very important to ask yourself, I think, is were you kind to yourself today? Did you take
before sleeping, I always ask myself that how I spend my whole day. what good things I have done, what bad things were done. So next time I have to be careful about that things which were wrong today. So next time be more careful about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I try to write somewhere on my diary that what are the things which I have to make plan and what are the things which were wrong. So I write somewhere daily on my diary so that next time I remember them and not to forget next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's a tremendous way of living, to do that little inventory at the end of every day and making sure that you know where it is that you can improve and that you can go forward in the next day and the day after that. Yeah. Great. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. We kind of had a small blab today, but I am planning another session probably in a week's time. I'll be scheduling that, and hopefully Onkar will be able to join me as well. His story is fascinating. He is a very talented individual, and he has a lot to give to our global community as well. And I really hope that you will join us again when we're having our next session. And for more details, you can follow me here on BLAB, as well as follow me on Twitter at Luscious Tech. And we look forward to seeing you again on the next session. So thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for time giving me to me. Take care of yourself and have a nice day.
You
Bye.
too. Enjoy. Thank you.